You topple a pawn and presume to challenge its master? Such arrogance!
Okay guys, what is up? Welcome back to another video. Welcome everyone. Hello everyone. So today's topic is about the Manari. The Manari being an allied race, and me just pitching an idea for you guys, maybe towards maybe other content creators. You know, I'm looking at some of you out there, and obviously towards Blizzard. Now, just a brief summary about this video. This is a video that will be more guided towards not really like visuals, but just for you guys to sit back and kind of like take in and enjoy. Now, this is not scripted. This is not something I've written down and have in front of me. I obviously just have, you know, just WoW in front of me, and the video is going to be basically more of a ranty style video than anything else. But just let's get straight into the video. So let's talk about the backstory about the Manari. Just a little bit, just briefly, in case some people might not know. I'm not myself. I'm not a WoW nerd, like lore nerd professional. I've played WoW for many years, but you know, I'm not really maybe like the right person to be giving lore advice on what allied races are, or what they should be, or where they are at. But I would like to touch a little bit about it, and then, you know, obviously talk to you guys and what you guys think. So firstly, the Manari backstory. Basically, they are the kind of race, or they have been a race that was always like our enemy, basically. They got kind of introduced in the Burning Crusade, and for me back then it was kind of hype, because when Draenei came out, because I played Alliance myself, and when Draenei came out, I wasn't really interested in playing one. I think I made a Draenei Priest. That was my first Draenei. My friend made a Draenei Shaman in the Burning Crusade, and then, you know, Draenei is a staple race right now. But a little bit about the Manari. So what are the Manari? Who are they? What are they? You know, when are they? Whatever. So Manari, they're basically this red Eredar looking kind of a race that... So how do I put this? Draenei is another word for Eredar. And the Manari are those Draenei that you've seen, you know, mostly in Sunwell Plateau if you played the Burning Crusade. You've seen them in even up to Wards, I think Hellfire Citadel, if I'm correct. In Warlords of Draenor, there were some Manari in there as well. And then you've seen them at certain places like Akamon, and obviously Kil'jaeden, and we just finished in Tomb of Sargeras in Legion as well. So they have some Manari there as well. And then there's also certain things. So for example, you have, like, if you check on the screen now, you'll see like we have this, where is this necklace? If it's somewhere here. So here we go. So we have like the Manari training necklace, and then we got this like Hellfire gem thingy that, if you don't know, this is what a Manari basically looks like. So this is pretty much what it is. It's on the thumbnail as well, just so people don't know. Yeah, I wanted to talk about this potentially being an ally race. And we'll obviously talk about the backstory, we'll talk about why, and we'll talk about what classes, maybe what class race combinations, and why should we have them. So, personally for me, and this is obviously my own opinion, I do believe that many people probably say, you know, lore-wise, they're gone, they're like, we defeated them, they're bad guys, you know, they're just a race, they're just a race that we've always hated, we'll always hate, and then Draenei just, they don't get along, obviously, right? I do believe that with everything lore-wise, like when in terms of like how lore can be written, anything is technically possible. I mean, if you look at certain races and classes and race class race combinations, like Night Elves not being able to be mages. Now we have mages. Illidan was a mage himself. Now he's a demon hunter. Back in TBC, demon hunters were enemies, you know. There weren't many of them. We had them in Black Temple, but there weren't many demon hunters. There was a few scattered all over the place, and Death Knights as well, with terror and gore. Now there's a lot of lore we can go and talk about and get into, but I just wanted to point out that all of these things, like if you told someone we had Dark Iron Dwarves back in vanilla, people probably would say no. That's like, why? They're bad guys. They're in Blackrock, you know. They help, I think, build Deathwing and all this stuff. Like they're just bad. They summon Ragnaros. They're bad, you know. Like Dark Iron Dwarves aren't really a viable race, but look where we're at now. So and this is hopefully this pitch will maybe open the eyes for some of you. Maybe some of you would like Manari after this, maybe some of you won't. And I'll get to the point of why we should have them and for what reasons, and then obviously what kind of maybe ratios. We could talk about ratios and cosmetics. So with Draenei, with the Manari, they basically branched off. So this is more about history, right? So they basically branched off. Some followed Kil'jaeden and Sargeras and Akamund as well, and then obviously the good guys like the regular Draenei followed Velen, Prophet Velen, right? If you know any lore about that, basically good guys went red, bad guys stayed blue, and then we have the Lightforge, which is like, obviously you guys know about Lightforge, I don't need to explain this as well, but Lightforge are basically just super holy, even more holy Draenei. So yeah, little bit backstory there. Now let's talk about what kind of lore and how can we implement the Draenei or the Manari, sorry. The way I would do it personally myself is I would have them be in my opinion be Horde characters, but then have them like we can have like some kind of like, you know how we have like with the Makar orcs, or we went back in the past, we got the brown orcs, you know, with the tattoos, and they look really cool. And we have like Makar orcs being able to be priests. They got like super like because of Yrel, because, you know, for me Yrel is such an amazing character, but I like that she became like this super crazy like angelic character. And she's converting people to the light. Now, for me, that is pretty cool. Now, what we can do is maybe we can touch on that a bit more, or maybe we can touch on what happens after Argus, because if you recall from Tomb of Sargeras, Kil'jaeden dies. Like, if you haven't done Tomb of Sargeras, it's basically a raid. And Kil'jaeden is the last boss again, just like we had in Sunwell. And Kil'jaeden dies on the ship. And I guess he crashes into Argus. I'm not too sure if he crashes into Argus and Argus just goes away, but I think he just dies on the ship and the ship explodes and you see the lights. And that was a pretty fitting end, I guess, for Kil'jaeden, because he was this big bad guy. He was like one of the the main Satan-y devil characters that we had in the game. Now, do I personally think that Kil'jaeden so do I personally think that the Manari should have followed him and died there? I don't think the Manari are all dead, personally. Like, if I had to be honest with you guys, I do believe that the Manari are out there somewhere in the galaxy, and there is lore that can be written. Maybe they can be forgiven, or maybe just like how we have other allied races, maybe we can just bring them into our faction for X, Y, and Z reason, and maybe they need help, like how we had the Vulpera. Now, I know many Horde characters don't like Vulpera, but I think plenty of people would appreciate, you know, the red space goats as what we call them. And what I would like to see, I'm not sure how they can implement it, but I'm pretty sure there is a way to implement this. So for me personally, and firstly, I would say is if they have to be chosen between Horde and Alliance, I would choose Horde, because I don't think the Alliance would appreciate having another, you know, another allied race that is a Draenei, and have 3 Draenei races in their faction. Obviously, we'll talk about what the Alliance would get. So if the Horde did get 1 allied race, obviously the Alliance should get 1 allied race. I'm thinking of maybe having them get like maybe light forged undead. I'm not sure. Maybe people are gonna think this is way too bad or way too much. I don't know. I'm just pitching this idea myself. That's at least that's what I think about it. Now, getting back on the subject of the Manari. So, how would we implement them as into lore, right? We can have it so they tried calling back to, they maybe tried joining the Alliance and tried joining their brethren in Lightforge, and the Lightforge Draenei and the regular Draenei just had none of it. And this is kind of touching on Velen, touching on Velen's son who became a Manari, touching on Velen, because, you know, when Kil'jaeden died, Velen did touch him and he did say, yo, you had more faith, and we'll talk about classes and stuff later as well. But you know, like he touched Velen, and the prophet saw the future, and you know, Kil'jaeden has always been this powerhouse. So for me, a good allied race should have a pretty good lore slash backstory kind of thing going on. And that's where we come to, you know, how they can join us. It can be very, like, it doesn't have to be heartwarming. I know some people just don't care. They just want to have a new race, and they just want to have a new shiny toy to play, like myself, right? For me personally, however they implement it, doesn't really matter. Let's get on to the next step. Why would we have these allied races? Well, for starters, Draenei cast animations, at least in my opinion, Draenei female cast animations are super great. I think they're really awesome myself. I know there's some people out there who just really like Draenei, and I know a few of you really like Draenei cast animations. Looking at some people with their videos and watching them play their priests. Thinking about a few YouTubers I can think of. So I do apologize if I'm going like back and forth. This video is going to be a little bit all over the place. And it's, yeah, I'm kind of new to all of this, right? So I do apologize for that. But anyways, so getting back into the allied race. What I would like to see is when they be implemented, like, it would be such a good theme thematically, having this kind of Horde versus Alliance, kind of like, you know, you think of Horde versus, like, think of red and blue. Which faction, which race has red and blue? Literally Manari and literally Eredar, right? Or red being Manari and Lightforge Draenei, and regular Draenei being blue, right? Lightforge being maybe a little bit more whiter or light blue in tones, but you get the idea. Should we be implemented in Shadowlands somehow? No, they don't need to be connected to Shadowlands, because obviously Shadowlands is, at least from the recording of this video, this video is being recorded a week into the launch, and you know, we're preparing. We have a lot of stuff on their mind. I don't think Blizzard has any plans to make new allied races or any of these things. I know you guys are probably thinking like, oh man, they need to balance the classes first. They can't be implementing allied races. Like, trust me, there's probably a whole different team working on allied races and cosmetics and these sort of things. And it won't affect Shadowlands, I think, too bad to have allied races or more races. But I do think that it would bring players to play the game a bit more. Now, obviously, Blizzard is a company. Blizzard, they're going to be working on, obviously, trying to get people to come back to the game. And I think Manari is a great way to have as a goal at some point in the future. It doesn't have to be Shadowlands, but at some point in the future, I'm trying to pitch this idea for you guys to you know, just watch this and think, oh yeah, this actually, you know, is a really stupid idea, or Rare, you're really an idiot for thinking Manari would ever be a thing, or that we can have obviously the allied race. For cosmetics and for other reasons, why like another pro, I guess, another pro versus a con, and I don't think there's many cons I can think about, but obviously I think for a pro is the fact that, you know, the lore between them will make Horde and Alliance kind of like clash a bit more, which is kind of what I was hoping for with BFA. And obviously players, like another pro I guess with players, is more cosmetics, more races, you know, making your class kind of feel, you know, how you want to imagine your class. Now, I've personally always wanted to play Warlock, and I've always wanted to play a Manari Warlock. Now, for me, we'll talk about the classes and the race combinations, but that's a little bit like a little touchy subject there. But having another paladin race on the Horde, I mean, having Manari be a paladin, I'm not too sure, but we'll talk about the classes and the races first, or after. So for me personally, I think in regards to when you have a class like the Manari and the allied race like Manari, and such strong lore in the backstory, and if you think about, like, for example, when we got introduced to Draenei and stuff, you know, we got introduced to them in TBC. I don't know if any of you played TBC personally, like, but I remember doing Sunwell, doing some on Plateau, and seeing how they visually look. So Manari would be such a amazing aesthetic looking class, right? So you have these Draenei. They have, like, you can have like their heritage armor could be like Fel, or maybe like very Archimonde looking kind of armor. You can have those like spiky wing thingies on the back. So I'm loving the new backpack kind of like transmog they're trying to push. And I think the whole race aesthetically would be very pleasing. You know, very red, very green. If you like the green, I know plenty of us are tired from the Green Legion kind of playstyle. But for me, when I played vanilla, it was like playing like Lord of the Rings. You know, it was like inspired of like, it felt very similar to Lord of the Rings. But then when we got to TBC, now I don't remember if you guys in the launch for this expansion, but when TBC came out and you came to Hellfire and you came to, you know, certain places like Twisting Nether and Nagrand, and you saw like planets floating, and in Nagrand the rocks were floating and all this stuff, and this all looked really like different. This looked so different from, you know, the previous game. And then, you know, when we came to Quel'Danas and then we got to Sunwell patches, like all of this was just so amazing. And then you saw all the different races. We had Ravager, Hunter pets. You can have like all these crazy alien-looking things, and WoW just became like, you know, like my mind personally, when I was like 14 or whatever, my mind was blown. Like my mind was literally blown, like literally. And I was just like, oh my god, like, you know, like running past. And I remember going in Sunwell and just completely getting destroyed. And I wasn't really a big time raider. I had very little gear. I had like full Merciless and some tier 5 pieces and tier 4 pieces and whatever. I wasn't very specially geared. But yeah, so going back on the why like we should have Manari as well is they have a strong lore and they couldn't implement it. And then the cosmetics of the race looks good, as well as cast animations. I know the biggest subject, in my opinion, would obviously be what classes and what classes Manari should be. Now, personally, I think, right, like me myself, I think that we've seen Draenei get a lot of, you know, they have Hunter, they have Paladin, they have Priest, they have Mage. You know, Draenei have a lot of things. They don't have Rogue and they don't have Warlock. Lightforged Draenei, if I'm correct, I think they lose. I think they lose 1 or 2 classes. I'm not too sure. I think they lose Hunter and Monk. I know they could be Death Knights. I'm not too sure, but I do know that they can be 1 or 2 classes at Draenei. And this is a kind of problem with allied races. They tend to only be able to be specific class race combinations. Whilst I can tell you for a fact that I have seen Priest Manari, I've seen you know, the generic Draenei race Draenei class race combination classes be for Manari. So I've seen the Paladins, I've seen the Priests, we have seen, I'm not too sure about mages, but I'm pretty sure I don't see why they shouldn't be mages. And, you know, obviously if you look at like Sacrolash and them, like, you know, they're using like Shadow Priest spells, and we have Venari, Tyrant Venari from Hellfire, you know, one of the later end bosses. She's basically a paladin, right? You've also seen some paladin, like some Manari paladin using like Divine Storm and Execution Sentence or whatever. They have these kind of paladin, kind of holy, like fell, kind of intuitive holy combination of abilities. So the class combination I was thinking is they should get all the baseline paladin, you know, sorry, baseline Draenei classes. But I do believe, personally, like, why not have them... Get the hell out of here, you freaking Volpera. Sorry, I actually like Volpera. I'm not judging, you know. It's not my horde, right? But I do think that what we should give them, and I know people are going to be like, no, that's stupid, though, that doesn't make sense. But what we should give them is have them be 2 or 3 other classes that regular Draenei can't be. The first one... Now, this is, you guys can tell me if you like this or not. You know, obviously go in the comment section and tell me what you guys think. But this is the kind of class where I can see Draenei or Manari being rogue. Now, I don't know if they're hunters or if they're rogues, but if I recall, I think in Sunwell, maybe past Felmist, I know there is these Manari that they open up and they stun you with like a kidney shot. Now, I don't know if it's a hunter that has like camouflage, because hunters didn't have camouflage back then. But and it doesn't mean just because they did like a kidney shot sounding animation looking ability, you know, the you know, the kind of kidney shot noise that I can't make it with my mouth, but you know what I'm talking about. Like, I don't know if Manari could be rogue or should be able to be rogue, but I do believe that maybe rogue Manari could be a thing we can see. Maybe, you know, if you guys don't like it, obviously just tell me. But I do believe that Manari could have been able to be in rogues, but they should definitely be able to be hunters to an extent. But the most important thing is for them to decide if we should give them paladins or not give them paladins. For sure, they can be priests. We've seen that, and I think paladins would be fine. You know, personally, I would love to see a Manari with, like, you know, how they have like the red skin with the cracked up greeny flamey hands, and then they just pull out like a corrupted Ashbringer. Like, for me, that would be like an amazing class. Like, I will definitely faction change or a race change or whatever my paladin straight over to Manari if I had it. If it was in the game right now, I would just straight up just play, I think, 4 or 5 different. I think I'll play Shadow Priest Manari, paladin, maybe a few other races. Now, I don't want to spoil it, but the third race I think that should Manari get, that normal Draenei can't get, and I already slipped out my mouth, but it's basically Warlock. Now, Manari Warlock, I feel like that would be such a strong class race combination, especially because referring to, you know, casters, right? No, for me personally, I think having the green fire on my Warlock, you know, having the what you call it, the rain of fire come down, and it just looks so amazing. And I think aesthetically, Manari just fit, like, they can fit with this. Even this challenge mode set would just look so. I've seen it on Draenei, and I can only imagine what it would look like on a Manari. Such a great like class combination. Now, for me, that would entice me to play Warlock again. Personally, I haven't played it in a little while. I've leveled it in BFA, and I just basically just returned back to the game. So this is from someone who's kind of just taking a break from WoW due to work and stuff. And I'm really hyped for Shadowlands. I'm really hoping Shadowlands, you know, gets through, because, you know, we as a community, we all want the game to work, right? We all want World of Warcraft to be fun and enjoyable, you know. And personally, I understand when they delayed the game. Obviously, some people were upset. I do, you know, my heart goes out for people who have to take time off and then work and then stuff. Personally, my job is more shift based, so hopefully I'm able. Hopefully I'm able to, you know, be able to raid and stuff, because for me that's the highest point of WoW. But that being said, I do appreciate that the whole community from WoW, you know, I think you guys handled it really well. So I do believe everyone in the WoW community should give themselves a pat on the back if you've, you know, obviously if you understand that the game is not ready, you know, when they have so many beta testers and they're putting so much time into it, and the game is coming out within a week, and, you know, hopefully like every expansion, the game is always having a rough launch, and I don't think Blizzard can really afford to have a terrible expansion as well. So hopefully Shadowlands, you know, becomes like a second Legion, because for me personally, Legion was really good, and this is from someone who's played vanilla, TBC, and Wrath, and I do love Wrath and I do love TBC a lot, vanilla as well, obviously, but Legion was really good. And if they can nail that and a little bit more, take some things from BFA, take out some things, take out the garrison. We don't want that anymore, Blizzard, please. But I'm sidetracking here. Going back to the subject. So Manari Warlock, that should be a class race combination. Now, if people from the Alliance feel like they have to reroll, I can tell you, in my defense and my arguments, let's say, in TBC, the Draenei went to the Alliance, and to the Horde, we got Blood Elves, right? Now we have an elf race. Many people didn't like it. I remember many Horde players did not like it, and I remember many people actually, you know, later on in the expansion, we actually cling to Blood Elves, and I think Blood Elves is one of the most played allied race, and I think Draenei would be really popular, especially for Horde, since, you know, obviously Horde. Now I do believe that Alliance should get a cool looking race for compensation for Horde getting, you know, another Alliance race, quote unquote, like an Alliance model. And I do believe that maybe we can maybe make another video on this, but maybe like Lightforged Undead. Maybe, I know maybe some Horde players are against this, obviously, but they're kind of pushing this idea, obviously, and I do believe that that can be something. Now, my final thoughts on it, on the Manari, what kind of racials. I don't want to get into this too much specifically. I'm kind of trying to avoid this. I do hope they give them some kind of thing where they're maybe like their skin glows red or their skin glows green, kind of like how Void Elves get that purpley glow in their racial. maybe they could just give them like a haste or maybe like a crit or some sort of maybe versatility buff on a 15 seconds cooldown, and that can be something that they get, and it's not going to be game breaking. Obviously, they can nerf it and buff it. Maybe they're maybe they can have like a ratio with their mounts, like after they mount. Maybe they have like, you know, like traveling the universe kind of thing where they like drive really fast but they can't control their mounts. Something like, it could be like a ratio like that where you can toggle it on and off. So you go like 50% faster for a few seconds, but then you like crash and then you like dismount. So maybe like a ratio mount speed kind of thing. Maybe like a sprint burst for like, it doesn't have to be long, you know, it could be like 20% movement speed, it can be 50%, it can be whatever. Obviously make it not too competitive, because I don't believe races should be affecting PvE and PvP, but you know, make it kind of cool and make it like, you know, oh okay, you know, Draenei have a heal, Lightforge Draenei have like this explosion and then they die and they go like kamikaze, and then maybe like Eredar can be, I don't know, they can be something, I don't know, we just give them something else, another once it's kind of like aesthetically pleasing, I think it'd be kind of nice. Maybe it's a versatility buff, I don't know what they should get, honestly. Maybe they can get some like ratios in terms of like maybe like engineering or something, maybe, or enchanting maybe, or disenchanting has a chance to proc an extra, add on extra material or something. I don't know, it could be something like that, something cool. You guys put your ideas in the comment section. In terms of the video, I think I've pitched everything for you guys. This is the third time of me recording this. I did a few recordings yesterday when I woke up, and I've been speaking to my friend, and I just made a recording again. But yeah, so that's my Manari video for today. I do want to thank everyone for watching this video. Obviously, the future of my channel, if you guys would like, you know, it will help me out a lot. If you guys want to give me like a, you know, follow, a sub or whatever. If you really would like to help me though, you can jump to in my description. I should have my Twitch link if you guys want to see me. I'm going to be playing Shadowlands and streaming Shadowlands. Obviously, if you guys want to be a part of my small community that's going to be growing, hopefully, if you guys want to jump in and say hi to me and have a chat with me about anything, about classes, about updates, about the past, you know, because I have a few years under my belt of World of Warcraft. That being said, I have been playing on and off. But yeah, if you guys want, you can hit that bell icon as well to get all your notifications updated. And yeah, I just want to say thank you to everyone, and I hope you guys have a really wonderful day and a really wonderful Shadowlands launch. Hopefully you guys can sort your classes out and choose your covenants and choose things that you guys want. If it's for high-end stuff or whatever, just choose it. If it's something you don't want but you have to play it, you know, that's on you. You know, you play the game however you want. Casual, not casual, doesn't matter. I'll be rating from myself. I'll be rating Mythic, and I'll be rating a Heroic, sorry, and I'll be trying to push Mythic, but nothing too serious for now, at least. But that's just because of who my guild is. But yeah, I'll see you guys later. Hope you guys have a wonderful time, and peace.